Good morning all. I am Pratik Kikani, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Mia University. Today we are going to understand the topic property of gas of subject elements of mechanical engineering. Specifically we will discuss about various law of gases. Say for example Boyle's law, Charles law. So this is the outline of presentation. So what is gas? We have to understand the behavior of gas because in engine it changes its property when the temperature is changing. The another word which is used like vapor. What is the difference between vapor and gas? Gas is the completely evaporation of liquid, that is considered as a gas. In case of vapor, if partially evaporation is happen, that is called vapor. If we are taking example of vapor, wet steam is considered as a vapor. In case of gas, we can say like oxygen, nitrogen, these all are gases. Now, what is perfect gas? A gas which obeys all the laws of gas, that is of Boyle's and Charles, that is considered as a perfect gas. But in actual condition, perfect gas is not possible. Instead of perfect gas, we are using the word real gases. So oxygen, nitrogen, these all gases, we are considering that real gases. Now we'll discuss the various laws. First one, Boyle's law. The Boyle's law, which is identified by a scientist Boyle in 1661. Now what is the statement of Boyle's law? The volume of given mass of a perfect gas varies inversely as the absolute pressure. The statement of this law is V is proportional to 1 upon P. So if we remove the proportionality, we can put PV is equal to constant. If we apply this equation for process 1 to 2, the equation will become P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to constant. Now if we correlate it, the equation will become P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Same way next one is Charles law. Again Charles law is identified by scientist Charles in 1787. Now the statement of Charles law is, if any gas which is heated at constant pressure, the change in volume varies directly with the temperature, and the statement for that particular equation is V is proportional to T. If we apply this equation for process 1 to 2, our equation will become V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2 is equal to constant. If we remove the constant symbol, the equation will become V1 by V2 is equal to T1 by T2. Now, as we have discussed Boyle's law and Charles law, in both the cases, in case of Boyle's law, the relation between pressure and volume which we can easily identify. In case of Charles, we have identified the volume and temperature. Now if we want to identify the relation between these three, pressure, volume and temperature, we can use the law that is called combined gas law. In combined gas law, the process which is done partially done by Charles and remaining process which is done by Boyle's. So as the figure shows, the 1 to 2 process which is according to, we can say Charles law, 2 to 3 process which is according to Boyle's law. Now if we are taking m kilogram of mass and we are taking combined gas law, if we apply this equation for 1 to 2 process according to Charles, our equation will become V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. In this particular process, T2 is equal to T3. So we may write V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T3. In next process, 2 to 3 process, that is called which is applied according to Boyle's, and the equation will become P2 V2 is equal to P3 V3. In this particular process, P is constant. So our process will become P1 V2 is equal to P3 V3, and V2 will become P3 V3 divided by P1. Now substituting the value of V2 in equation of V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2, our equation will become like this: V1 by T1 is equal to P3 V3 divided by P1 into T3. If we rearranging this equation, P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P3 V3 by T3, and this is applicable for process 1 to 3. If we write this equation in generalized term, our equation will become P into V by T is equal to constant. Now, if we want to identify the proportionality and particularly characteristic gas constant, that is of R, if we put this equation for m kilogram of mass, PV divided by T will become m into R, and final equation is equal to PV by MRT. If we are taking this equation for specific volume, our specific volume V is equal to volume per kilogram of gas, that is of V by M. So final equation will become PV is equal to RT. So let us start the topic, relation between two specific heats, Cp and Cv. What is specific heat? The amount of heat required to change the temperature of unit mass of substance by 1 degree, that is known as specific heat. If this process is done at constant pressure, the process will become, or the specific heat is known as specific heat at constant pressure. Same way, if this process is done at constant volume, the specific heat will become specific heat at constant volume Cv. So let us see the relation between them. First of all, we have to identify the parameters like pressure P, which is in Newton per meter square, V1 and V2, that is of initial and final volume in meter cube, T1 and T2, that is the initial and final temperature in Kelvin, Cp and Cv, that we want to derive the equation, that is called specific heat at constant pressure and constant volume, which is in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. R, that is called characteristic gas constant, which is again in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. M, that is of mass of gas. Now let us consider about the first law of thermodynamics. The equation of first law of thermodynamics, that is delta Q is equal to delta U plus W. If we use this equation for m kilogram of mass, which is heated in two ways. First, we are heating the gas at a constant volume, and we are heating the gas at constant pressure. So the generalized equation is of Q is mc delta T. If we apply this equation for constant volume, delta U will become mcv delta T. Work, that is of 0. How the work will become 0? In case of constant volume, there is no movement of piston in piston cylinder arrangement, so we can't get any amount of work. So in this case, the work will become 0. So in equation of delta Q is equal to delta U plus W, we have W 0, so remaining term will be delta Q is equal to delta U. And what is delta U? Delta U is mcv delta T. So final equation is delta Q is equal to delta U. So delta Q is equal to mcv delta T. This is for the case of constant volume, means we are applying heat at constant volume. Now let us see what will happen if we apply heat at constant pressure. The heat which is applied at constant pressure, that is of Qp, is equal to mcp delta T. In this case, we get some amount of work and we also get delta U. Now in case of delta Q, that is of delta U plus W, that is according to first law. Now what is delta U? As we have mentioned, that is of mcv delta T. Now we have to find the amount of work which is generated. Generally, the equation of work is integration P into dV. By using this equation at constant pressure, so P remain constant, in the bracket of integration of 1 with respect to V, limit is V1 to V2, so finally we get V2 minus V1, that is final equation P in the bracket V2 minus V1. So we have two cases in which heat is supplied at constant pressure, heat is supplied at constant volume. In case of heat supplied at constant pressure, we get work as well as change in internal energy. So by using this fundamental, we'll move further. So delta Q is equal to delta U plus W. If we use this equation, in this case delta U is mcv delta T, W that we already got P in the bracket V2 minus V1. If we using this equation, now we apply heat at constant pressure. So Qp, instead of Qp on the left side, we are putting mcp delta T is equal to delta U. We already have delta U, that is of mcv delta T, plus work W, that is P in the bracket V2 minus V1. Now we will using this equation and try to solve it. So now we want to find the relation of this P V2 minus P1. According to law, we already know that PV is equal to MRT. If we apply this equation for process 1, that is of P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. Same way for process 2, P2 V2 is equal to MRT2. If we use this and summarize it, finally we got P V2 minus V1 is equal to MR delta T. Instead of this P V2 minus V1, we can use the equation MR delta T. So we have put MR delta T instead of this P V2 minus V1. So when we move further, we can say on the left side MCP delta T equal to MCV delta T plus MR delta T. So M will be cancelled from the both side. Remaining term will be Cp is equal to Cv plus R. If we rearrange this thing, final equation we got, that is of Cp minus Cv, that is equal to R, and R is called characteristic gas constant. So this is the final equation of relation between two specific heat, that is of Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Now we'll move further to the processes. Basically two type of thermal processes that is occur in the universe, that is a flow process and non-flow process. What do you mean by flow process? The flow process in which open boundary is available and mass is interacting with the boundary. In case of non-flow process, there is no mass interaction with this system boundary. In our topic, we will discuss non-flow processes. Total 5 number of total non-flow processes that we will discuss. So let us start with the first process, that is of constant volume process, which is also known as isochoric process. Now for each process we are going to find 5 equations. Which are the 5 equations? First one is pressure volume temperature relation. Second one, the work which is generated during particular process. Third one is heat transfer from system to surrounding. Fourth one is change in internal energy, that is of delta U. And fifth one is change in enthalpy, that is of delta H. So let us see one by one process, starting with first process, constant volume process. In constant volume process, the volume remain constant in the particular process. So if we plot this diagram on pressure versus volume diagram, it clearly shows that it's a vertical line in which volume V1 and V2 which remain constant. Practically we can say there is no movement of piston inside the cylinder, so volume remain constant. And practically we can say if piston is not moving, we can't get any amount of work. So we can put work 0 in later stage. So first of all, find out the pressure, volume and temperature relation. From the combined gas law, we have derived equation, that is of PV by T is equal to constant. If we apply this equation for process 1 to 2, the equation will become P1 V1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 V2 divided by T2. As we know, the process is constant pressure, so P1 is equal, the process is constant volume, so V1 is equal to V2. If we remove this, the final equation will become P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. That is the final equation for constant volume process and PVT relation. Let's further move work done, the amount of work which is generated. As we know, to find the work, the equation is integration P into dV with respect to limit V1 and V2. Here the process is constant volume, that means change in volume is 0, the whole term will become 0. So theoretically we can say W is equal to 0. Practically, as we have discussed, we can't get any amount of work in the case of constant volume process. Third relation, that is of heat transfer delta Q. As per the first law of thermodynamics, the equation is delta Q is equal to W plus delta U. As we have found, W is 0 in this case, so finally we get delta Q is equal to delta U, and we all know delta U is mCV T2 minus T1. So theoretically we can say the amount of heat which is transferred, which is utilized in changing the internal energy of particular system. Next one is change in internal energy, as we have discussed, delta U is equal to mCV T2 minus T1. And finally we can find change in enthalpy, that is of delta H. Now how can we find delta H? For finding delta H we require H1 and H2. So as per the definition of enthalpy H, the equation is U plus PV. If we apply this equation H1, that is of U1 plus P1 V1. If we apply this equation for process 2, H2 is equal to U2 plus P2 V2. Delta H means change in enthalpy H2 minus H1. If we put the equations of H2 and H1, finally we got mCV T2 minus T1 plus mR T2 minus T1. But we know Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So when we use this relation, finally we got delta H is equal to mCp T2 minus T1. Now let us move the next process, that is of constant pressure process, that is also known as isobaric process. Again we will going to find 5 equations for this particular process. So let us start with the isobaric process. What do you mean by isobaric? That means constant pressure process. During this process pressure remain constant. So the graph which shows during this process pressure remain constant. Now let us find the 5 equations starting with PVT relation. As we all know, the combined gas law equation, that is of P1 V1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 V2 divided by T2. For constant pressure process, P1 is equal to P2. So final equation will become V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. This is the equation of PVT relation for constant pressure process. Next equation, that is of work. So for finding work we have equation that is of integration P limit of V1 to V2 into dV. As we all know, the process is constant pressure, so integration of 1 with respect to V, that will become V2 minus V1. So final equation of work done is P in the bracket V2 minus V1. Next one is heat transfer delta Q. So delta Q is equal to W plus delta U as per the first law of thermodynamics. W we got P in the bracket V2 minus V1. Delta U we already know mCV T2 minus T1. So we put this equation in this delta Q equation. So finally we got P in the bracket V2 minus V1 plus mCV T2 minus T1. Instead of this P V2 minus P1, as we have discussed in previously, mR T2 minus T1 plus mCV T2 minus T1, and finally m T2 minus T1, that is of common, remaining term will be R plus CV. Instead of R plus CV we can put CP. So final equation is delta Q is equal to mCp T2 minus T1 for constant pressure process. Next one is change in internal energy, that is of delta U. Again delta U is equal to mCv T2 minus T1. So we can say internal energy is a function of temperature only. Next one is change in enthalpy. As we have discussed in previously, delta H according to definition, H is equal to U plus PV. For process 1, H1 is equal to U1 plus P1 V1. H2 is equal to U2 plus P2 V2. So if we take this difference delta H, H2 minus H1, we got equation delta H is equal to mCp T2 minus T1. Now next one is isothermal or constant temperature process. What do you mean by constant temperature or isothermal process? The process in which temperature remain constant throughout this process. So when we put this process in P versus V diagram, it will show like a curve. If arrow which is in downward direction, it is called expansion process. If in curvature, if the arrow is upward direction, we can say it's a compression process. So we can say in case of isothermal process we have expansion as well as compression process. So let us move to the relation between PVT. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. In this case, T1 is equal to T2. So finally, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 in case of isothermal process. Next one is work done. Now we have to think about the work done. Up till now we are discussing about either constant pressure or constant volume process. But in this case, temperature is constant. So for finding work done, we have to do something. So PV is equal to constant. If we apply this equation for process 1, P1 V1 is equal to constant. If we use this equation, PV is equal to constant, and we want to find P. So P will become C upon V. Now using this equation, we will find the amount of work. So P, for finding work, we all know the integration V1 to V2, C by V dV. C is constant, 1 upon V into dV. Integration of 1 upon V, that is of ln V. If we put these limits, so C ln V2 by V1. So C ln V2 by V1. Now we can say if we use the value of C, so W will become P1. Instead of C, we can put either P1 V1 or P2 V2. So if we put the equation of value of C in this equation, the work done will become P1 V1 ln V2 by V1. And instead of this V2 by V1, we can use R, and R is called ratio of expansion. So P1 V1 ln R is considered as a work done during this process. We can either put P1 V1 is equal to MRT1 or P2 V2 is equal to MRT2. Next one is, if we use this W final equation, MRT1 log of R is equal to MRT2 log of R. Next, heat transfer during this process. Delta Q is equal to W plus delta U. In this case, W we already got, MRT1 log of R is equal to MRT2 log of R. But delta U is equal to mCV T2 minus T1. As this process is constant temperature or isothermal, T1 is equal to T2. So the delta U will become 0. So in this equation, if we put delta U 0, the final equation is delta Q is equal to W. And if we use the equation of W, so delta Q is equal to W is equal to MRT1 log of R or MRT2 log of R. Next one is change in internal energy. The equation is mCV T2 minus T1, but T1 is equal to T2, so the whole term will become 0. So in this case, delta U is equal to 0. Next one is change in enthalpy. Again, delta H is equal to, we all know, mCp T2 minus T1, but again T1 is equal to T2, so the delta H will become 0 in this particular process. Thank you.